Your heartbeat accelerates, your pupils dilate, your tummy begins to rumble. Your breathing gets heavy and your mouth gets dry as a desert. The hairs on the back of your neck stand up and your muscles begin to tense. And then you start to sweat. You can feel your face getting flushed, and all of a sudden you feel this strong need to run to the bathroom. Oh my gosh, you're having a heart attack. Calm down. Calm down. There's nothing wrong, I promise. You've simply been asked to speak on a topic that you know quite well, but without the benefit of advance notice and preparation. You've been asked to give an impromptu speech. How do you respond? As you likely know, the freeze, fawn, flee, or fight response refers to the involuntary physiological changes that happen in our body and our mind when we feel threatened or strongly challenged. This is a natural response when we sense danger, whether that danger is real or not. It all starts with our brain assessing that there's danger and activates our nervous system to go into red alert status. Our body's natural performance enhancing drug, adrenaline, is released into the bloodstream, and we have just a moment to make a decision. Do we face the challenge with strength? Flee from the situation as fast as we can? Freeze and hide, hoping that the challenge will just simply pass us over? Or do we fawn by trying to negotiate with the object of our fear to leave us alone and be our friend? In professional situations, when we're asked to say a few words, give an update, or offer our opinions, even when we're not prepared, we should always welcome the opportunity to fight and succeed. Being considered a leader, a subject matter expert, a trusted team player, and a valuable asset to our company doesn't happen overnight. Like it or not, the opportunity to stand up and shine is a gift and offers us tremendous rewards for our future. Take it from somebody who is a true introvert. When given the chance to be noticed, take it and shine. But how can we shine when we aren't prepared? We make it easy with some instant outlines that will have you looking and sounding like a polished pro in no time. Let's take a quick look and see how these instant outlines work. First, let's talk about being put in the hot seat in a small group business meeting. In these situations, we may be asked a question or we might receive a request for an update on a project, but without any advance notice. We often need to think on our feet, meaning we literally have the spotlight on us right now from the moment the request comes in, so we may have only seconds to take a big breath, organize our thoughts, and speak. In situations like this, our audience is looking for us to respond with our opinion, our assessment, maybe our plan, with confidence and clarity. There are 3 instant organizational approaches that work well in these situations. The first and maybe most versatile is PREP. P-R-E-P. This simple outline works great for responding to most any direct question with a clear and polished answer. First, start with your point of view, your perspective. This is your opinion or maybe your recommendation, and it is likely no more than 1, maybe 2 sentences long. Next, express your reason for taking this position. Why do you believe this to be true? Follow this up with evidence or an example to support both your point of view and your reason. And then end by reinforcing your point of view, your perspective. Then stop talking. Stopping talking can be one of the more challenging things to do in impromptu speaking. So, when you reach the end, simply stop talking, pause, and wait for the response. Here's an example. In your team meeting, your boss turns to you and says that she's concerned about the progress of the new marketing campaign that you've been managing. She looks at you to invite you to comment. You might respond, I don't share the same concern, Sharon. I believe the campaign is actually producing impressive results. Now, I do understand that we got off to a slower than expected start due to some delays in funding, but once we got all the elements up and running, the program is actually over-delivering based upon initial expectations. Last month's sales figures showed a 15% increase over the prior month and a 25% increase over the same period last year. This is about 5 points higher than projections. So when we look at the real results, I believe our campaign is doing a very good job in contributing to our sales results. Boom! You did it. You stood up for yourself and your program and you responded with real facts. And you did it all in a blink of an eye. Let's look at another example. Let's say you've been working on improvements to the way customer service is delivered in your call centers. During a team meeting, the topic of customer service comes up, and someone on your team asks you for an update on your project. In a situation like this, you might respond with the past, present, future structure to give a quick overview of your project's mission. It might go something like this. I'm happy to give you a quick overview. We've only just recently launched this project, so we're still in the development stage. But in the past, our call center lacked sufficient technology support, and their systems didn't allow them to access customer account records. Their systems only allowed them to process new orders, so anyone calling to ask for an update on their account would have to be redirected to their primary account manager. Last year, we were able to upgrade the systems to give customer service reps partial view into customer account records, but the data is a month in arrears and it is in summary form, which doesn't allow the reps to respond to questions on recent orders or any details on their account. The current system is also not linked to the primary account managers, so discussions with customer service reps over the phone are not automatically summarized and provided to the account managers. Today, this notification process is manual and spotty at best. The project we're working on right now will revolutionize our customer service account access system and give them full real-time view into customer account records, allowing them to process customer requested changes to current orders, which will then automatically generate a notification sent to the primary account managers. We are looking to upgrade this system by the middle of first quarter next year. If we are at a point in our project where we can offer a little bit more details about our plans, we could turn to the cause-effect remedy structure, which is sometimes shortened to the problem-solution format. Here's an example. I'm happy to give you a quick overview of the project. The problem we are addressing in our customer service call centers is that they are using a different order entry system from our sales teams and have limited access into customer account files. This prevents our reps from addressing requests made by our customers concerning past or in-process orders. Our solution will create a real-time data bridge between sales, fulfillment, and customer service, allowing these teams to access the same account records and communicate effectively and seamlessly between departments, creating an improved customer service experience. Now, someone with more tech smarts than I have could continue to add a bit more detail about our solution or our plan. But I'm hoping that you see the point. Using an instant outline is pretty easy, and we can really sound pretty darn smart. Another place where we're likely to receive an impromptu opportunity to present is in a job interview. This might come as a surprise to some of you, but interviewers are less interested in what you did or why you did it. What they really are interested in knowing is the results you delivered. So, to present yourself as a star, think S-T-A-R, star. Situation, task, action, and results. First, briefly describe the situation you faced. Next, briefly describe the task and continue with the actions you took. For most responses, we want to keep these 3 sections to maybe 3 sentences or less. Lastly, This is where you want to focus. Explain the results of your work. Let's take a listen to a couple of examples of the STAR in action.
So your interviewer asks you, can you talk me through a challenge or difficult situation you had at work? An example answer using the STAR interview method would be, as a receptionist, I book in lots of visitors for meetings. One day I had a visitor turn up for a quarterly meeting with a director, but I knew that I hadn't seen that director come into work that day and he hadn't responded to my email about the visitor's arrival. I also got no response when calling his desk phone and mobile. As the meeting was starting in 5 minutes, I decided to call through to someone else in that department who advised me that due to a last-minute family emergency, he was not in the office that day. I asked if they knew anyone else that would be able to meet with this visitor, and they pointed me in the direction of another colleague who was able to meet with the visitor and cover off the meeting on the manager's behalf. So a nice short explanation. The answer doesn't need to be long or complicated. It doesn't need to be life or death. It just needs to show you thinking your way out of a challenging situation, even if it's a simple one.
Here's an example. Let's say the interviewer asks you how you would handle an angry client. In my last role, we faced an angry client due to a missed deadline. This was at a time when we were understaffed due to several key employees leaving all at once. Even with everyone giving 2 weeks notice, we still had to find and train their replacements, and the client simply could not wait. After discussing with management, I reached out to the client, explained the situation, and offered them a complimentary service to compensate for the lost time. The client appreciated our transparency and willingness to make it right, and even ended up renewing with us a couple months later.
Lastly, sometimes we're asked to say a few words at a social gathering. We might be asked to offer some motivation to help lift our team up to achieve higher results, or maybe to pick them up after a big loss. We might be asked to give tribute to a colleague or friend who is leaving the company, or to pay our respects at a more solemn occasion. In situations like this, send out an SOS. Rather, use the SOS instant outline. Start with a story. Everybody loves a story, and this is a great way to engage the audience and to build our emotional connection. Your story should be either centered on the person we are celebrating or a personal story that you can relate to the occasion. Next, connect the threads and themes of your story through observation that gives us a deeper understanding of either the person we are celebrating or the occasion. Our observation should link similarities between our story and the focus of our presentation. Lastly, end your presentation on a high note. End strong, giving your audience the opportunity to concur with your sentiments and to appreciate your comments. Listen to a terrific example of the SOS outline from Morgan Freeman.
Ladies and gentlemen, the recipient of the AFI Life Achievement Award in 2011, Morgan Freeman.
"40 years ago, 1979, Denzel and I were in a Joseph Pack production of Coriolanus. I was the lead. Denzel was a stage prop. Now, he has publicly said many times that during rehearsal he came to me with questions, suggestions about how we should play a sword fight scene that could be extended with some extra stabbing and wounding and shit. He said that I looked at him after asking his name, and I told him this: "Kid, we click swords 3 times, I stab you, you fall down and die." I'm going to tell you the correct story. What I actually said to Denzel was, "You're that brilliant young actor just out of Fordham University. That was a great suggestion. Joe Papp never thought of it. Hell, Shakespeare didn't think of that one. Clearly, you know better than the two of them how this thing should be staged. What a fine eye for action. I think you have a bright career ahead of you. And I hope one day to perhaps work with you in a film. But until then, get back where you belong. When you come out on stage, we click swords 3 times, I stab you, and you fall down and die. Now, I'm much too young to remember the very first AFI Life Achievement Award back in 1973, but I'm pretty sure of this. When they created this award, Denzel Hayes Washington Jr. was waiting in the wings. Denzel, my dear friend, congratulations.
There you go. A set of instant speech outlines that will surely give you the courage, charisma, nerve, and confidence to deliver impressive presentations, even when you haven't been given time to prepare.